Hendrix thing also. Not like the other other people much better than whatever it is that we got going on, right? Like Bomani has, and I saw a couple other people.
I watched a lot yesterday.
I think Jamel Hill may have, and there's one that not sure how we tricked the algorithm into rocking with us, but oh well.
That's cool.
Nah, I left the notebook.
Sweet.
I'll get that song out of you. What was the song?
Pull up. Drank. See, when I say pull up, you also don't register.
What was it again?
It was swimming pools.
How's that lyric go?
Pull up. Pull up. Come on, finish the lyric.
That's not a lyric in the song,
Finish
Jessica.
the lyric. I know, CJ.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord.
Pull up.
Don't scare
Bed
me
shot.
like that. Stop it. Stop.
Sit up.
Stop.
Stand down. Drink.
Quit it.
Anyway.
That was a good song. That's a fine
Great song.
Fine song.
One of the, I enjoyed the halftime show so much, and I realized after we talked about it yesterday, I didn't even find myself bogged down by songs that I wished that he would have done.
Yeah.
All Right would have been cool.
Yeah, All Right would have been wonderful, but nah, you can't do a song like All Right if you're talking about a revolution, right?
Doesn't fit the storytelling. Doesn't quite seamlessly go in there.
Doing college basketball research, trying to get ready for March Madness.
Yeah.
Did not realize it's 1 versus 2 on Saturday, Alabama and Auburn.
A classic basketball matchup.
What a matchup.
Classic powerhouses of the sport.
This also doesn't seem true, but it is somehow. It's the first time in SEC history it's 1 versus 2.
Huh.
First time in SEC history.
That surprises me.
You would think Kentucky versus Arkansas or Florida or
at
some point maybe a Tennessee team.
Well, don't get too excited because I know who can take some of the luster out of that game.
Who?
If Vanderbilt goes and beats Auburn tonight.
I mean, it'll still be 1 versus 2.
I know, because you don't get new rankings.
No.
But it would be funny.
Come on, Commodores.
Come on. Team Tennessee. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, February 11th. Going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, Luka's debut in Los Angeles. More doom and gloom in Dallas. We'll get into the happenings in the NBA last night. It is a Grizzlies game day today. Grizzlies in Phoenix for night 1 of a back-to-back. Mike Wallace will join us. We'll talk about the team's 2 games coming up before the All-Star break. His thoughts on the trade deadline action and the Grizzlies lost to the Thunder from over the weekend. Former Memphis Tiger Will Coleman joins us every Tuesday, and the Memphis Tigers are a top 15 team, and this is the first time in 16 years that they have been ranked this high, this late in the season. We'll catch up with Will about the Tigers. TV Tuesdays, Super Bowl LIX ratings are out. Ren Stevens got shot in the face, and Montoya, por favor. All the happenings from TV. It's a Tuesday. You know what we say. Montoya, por favor.
I can't wait for you to explain that to me.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Norris one-handed on the feed.
If you go to a hustle game, you're going to see a very fast-paced game. A lot of action, both offensively, defensively.
Nice rejection right there.
In a great environment at the Lander Center. You could bring family there, kids are running around.
Down the lane and 1 for Zion Poland.
And then you're going to see a lot of talented basketball players competing at a high level.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
So these are a pair of Kobe 11 Elite Low. These were part of a collaboration with FC Barcelona.
I've never seen these in person. The detail on these are amazing.
It's Flyknit, like, you know, the front of the shoe is Flyknit. It's got the lunar line, I remember, and the
insole is removable.
Yeah. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
For the sunshine, gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday on this dark and dreary, rainy day in Memphis, Tennessee. I looked at the weather app. CJ, it's going to snow next week. Turn up. Breaking news. Snow. Expected. No, not turn up. We hit 70 degrees. And once we hit, I don't like fall spring, just like I don't like false fall. Give me the truth.
Which one is worse? Fall spring?
Fall spring.
Fall spring is way worse than false fall.
Way worse than false fall. Because fall spring, it's so cold. We turned our heat down. My MLGW bill this month was not the most fun email I have ever opened. But
January was the days of like the 10
that
degrees.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but go ahead.
It was like double.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, we turned it down, and then I realized this morning, because it's back to like 30 degrees outside, my little feet are cold in the morning. My little feet on our wood floors get a little chilly. And now you're telling me it's gonna snow, but not before it gets back up to 60. The yo-yoing of the weather this time of year, it's not good for the sinuses and not good for the soul. But that is...
I didn't know Memphis had a fall spring. Like, this is new to me.
Okay, thank you.
I've been here since 2009, and maybe I'm not recalling everything correctly. But this feels like a first. Like the first time fall spring has crept in like this. We had a week in the 50s? Week and a half in the 50s up?
I always remember... I invited friends to come visit me my very first year living here. So I moved here in August when it was 110 degrees. Made it through fall, winter. Invited friends to visit me maybe the first week of March, thinking it would be spring because it was a pretty mild February. And I was like, well, that'll be nice to host people here in Memphis and show them the city. And it snowed the entire time they were here, which was just absurd, trying to take people around Memphis in the snow as their first visit. So maybe it's happened in the past. I don't know.
I think it was cold every day into March. Like that has happened before. Whereas, okay, it's March, it's late February, it should be warm, but I think it's still cold. It doesn't yo-yo us like this.
Well,
fall spring is the yo-yoing thing. Like, I don't want to be yo-yo with spring. Hit me with spring or don't. I'd much rather
Make
just
up your mind.
Stay cold.
Yeah, I agree.
And then when it gets warm, it's warm until November, I guess, or whatever it is.
I just saw a video pop up on my timeline of the Texas State campus and it's a bunch of people in swimsuits just like sunbathing on the Texas State campus, and it said Texas State campus in February circulating and making a strong case for their admission to the Pac-12. Don't worry, I have my Pac-12 visor in my backpack. It's always ready. It can always be there at a moment's notice.
For Texas State?
No.
Okay.
For the, if expansion happens.
Okay.
Texas State can't go alone.
Okay.
What'd you get into last night?
Nothing much. We got a massive TV now. And so
humble brag.
So it's not any bigger than TVs that are in anybody else's house. In fact, it's probably just a regular size TV. But like it's massive to us because we've had like TVs about this size right here. And so just said, you know what, I'm gonna go swing around New York. Hopped on the Spider-Man and just web slung my way around New York, looking at the skyline, kicked it on Avengers Tower, and sort of just mellowed out, hung out. The games that I cared about watching didn't start till 9 at night. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make that. And I didn't. I got to like 8:15, like, ooh, push through, CJ. Fight one more horde of like symbiotes, and you can do it. It's like, nah, I'm done. And so I shut it down.
I did make it. I didn't want to make it because I wanted to go to sleep early because guess who has the absurdly late game tonight? The Memphis Grizzlies in Phoenix with a 9 p.m. tip on national television this evening as the Grizzlies will take on the Phoenix Suns on TNT. But then I did remember that it was the beginning of the Luka Doncic era in Los Angeles, and I was curious, so I watched a good portion of the debut of Luka in LA. Lakers beat the Jazz 132-113. Luka Doncic showed up in a suit. That man was looking crisp going into his debut in Los Angeles. Who's that, CJ? Who's this man? Look at the shades. The suit, he's svelte. He's fashionable. He's living his new life. They had number 77 shirts for every single fan who showed up at Crypto.com Arena to watch the debut of Luka Doncic. Even LeBron James himself was in one of the number 77 shirts. LeBron was giddy going into this game. The smile on LeBron's face was so big. It also symbolized like how this is going to work because they had Luka, the last player named. So usually the last player named in player introductions is the biggest player. And so it felt as if that was a nice move by LeBron to say, yes, face of the franchise. Right now we are co-faces of the franchise, but future and maybe perhaps the longevity of your face of the franchise will exceed mine. Although LeBron did look like he was 10 years younger last night, which I don't know how we allowed this to happen. He gave Luka a pregame pump-up speech telling him to be your effing self. Don't fit in. Fit the F out. Don't fit in. Fit the F out. And then I watched Luka's version of that proceed to be Luka with the biggest smile I think I've seen on his face playing basketball, at least this year. Granted, we have not seen Luka Doncic play basketball since before Christmas, but he's out there. He gets a rebound and has his first transition pass to LeBron James, rebound, full court pass to LeBron. You see it in action. You're like, this is what it's supposed to look like. Then you see the slow-mo of that and the smile on Luka's face. That man seeing LeBron James on the fast break for the first time, that smile is both childlike wonder and semi-demonic for everybody else not named the Los Angeles Lakers. And I was like, do you think that that is the smile that Rob Pelinka had on his face when he got the call from Nico Harrison saying, yeah, you know what? Take him. Take one of the best players in the world.
That's a smile like a kid let loose in a candy shop. Like, hey, go get all the candy you want. Just maniacal smile. That's the smile Elon Musk has when he's taking all of our money and taking all of these government jobs and programs
Social
away.
Security number.
That's that smile. That's what he looks like. It's nice to see people doing things they truly love.
Oh, is it?
I mean, yeah.
It was kind of nice. But then it's like the reminder that wasn't just a fun little exhibition game. That wasn't, let's see what it looks like to have Luka Doncic in purple and gold for the rest of his life. No, that was the new reality. And like I said, LeBron James like aged backwards over the last week. Between the game, or between him responding to the Luka trade and then seeing him play last night, the energy, the effort levels from LeBron, like it felt like the look of a man who understands that he really did just have another chance at a championship open up. And I'm not saying that with Anthony Davis, the opportunity wasn't there, but this just takes it another step forward. And I don't know what they're going to do about defense, and I don't know what they're going to do about their center position and having to lean on Jackson Hayes and the whole Mark Williams thing blowing up. But from an offensive standpoint, watching Luka and LeBron play on the same team feels like a cheat code. And I can't believe we let this happen. I can't believe the Dallas Mavericks let this happen.
I look forward to seeing it continue to play out. The All-Star break is coming, and I know players need to rest and get their bodies right, but I would assume that that team in particular would want to try and get together and work through some things to figure out some kinks and figure out how everybody wants the ball, where everybody wants the ball, where best to use everybody. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure coaches and team personnel can't be around, but the players can get together and say, hey, 2 or 3 days, let's get together, walk through some things, run through some things so that we can hit the ground running post All-Star break. Because it does, as great as those two are, there are legitimate questions about, like you said, the big position and who's playing defense. How's that going to work? What are the rotations going to be? And is Luka just going to be a sieve on the defensive end? Like, there are legitimate questions there that the Lakers need to figure out. They do need to hit this ground running because we're almost 3/4 of the way through the season. They don't have a whole lot of time to figure things out. You've got to come in after All-Star break with everything figured out, ready to hit the ground running.
But they are 10-1 since January 21st. Like, they've won 6 games in a row. They've been playing well at this juncture of the season, so well. They're in 4th in a, stop me if you've heard this one before, crowded Western Conference race. They are 2.5 games behind the Grizzlies in 2nd. They're 1.5 games behind the Nuggets, who are in 3rd at the moment, and then tied with the Houston Rockets, who the Rockets finally won a game last night after they had lost 6 games in a row. Or the Rockets game wasn't last night. They won the night before. They played against the Toronto Raptors. But it's interesting for the Lakers.
They played well to this point, but that was without somebody like Luka. And the difference in Anthony Davis and Luka from their roles is night and day. Not saying that Anthony Davis isn't a tremendous talent, because he is. But what he's asked to do and what Luka is asked to do are completely different things. You would think that this team, because LeBron James can be a bit ball dominant, would say, okay, this is how we need to play with another ball-dominant player. But sometimes, man, that stuff doesn't work. And it does take time to figure out, okay, here's Luka's chance with the ball. Here's LeBron's chance with the ball. When LeBron has the ball, Luka, this is what we need you to do. Luka, when Luka has the ball, Bron, here's what you need to do. Like, that takes time to figure out. But they have really good pieces in L.A., right? I saw them. Who did they just beat on Saturday? I can't remember. But saw them in that game.
The game without Luka and LeBron, when Austin Reeves had 45
Austin
points.
Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt as well, right? Like, they've got quality pieces around those two. It is just a matter of figuring everybody out and getting that chemistry thing. Chemistry is so very, very important. Getting the chemistry worked out. Can't afford to lose games in the regular season in that crowded Western Conference, because you lose a couple of games, you lose 3, lose 4, you're talking about going from the 4 seed to maybe the 6 seed or the play-in. You want to hold on to that 4 seed. You want to even try and catch, if you're LA, you want to try and catch the teams ahead of you. And you can do that better if the chemistry is right. They've got to figure out the chemistry. It looked fine against a very, very bad, underwhelming Jazz team last night.
Very, very bad. But the chemistry, to make matters worse for the rest of the NBA, Zodiac GM, and you know, I love me some Zodiac GM.
I'm aware.
LeBron and Luka, A+ synergy. LeBron, Capricorn with Aries moon. Doncic, Pisces with Leo moon. Together, the synergy is there. I do also think people were kind of dunking on LeBron for the pregame little pump-up speech to Luka, saying, don't fit in, fit out, because people brought up years ago, 10 years ago at this point, when it was him and Kevin Love, and when their big 3 in Cleveland was having trouble meshing early, and Kevin Love was kind of the odd man out. He went from being the number 1 option to being the number 3 option in a blink. And this tweet from February 2015, where LeBron said, stop trying to find a way to fit out and just fit in, be a part of something special, just my thoughts, came following a game. But Kevin Love had talked about how sometimes he felt as if he fit out instead of fitting in. And back then it was a push and pull. And now at age 40, I think it represents LeBron understanding, and especially this particular scenario, like Luka is one of the best players in the world. When healthy, Luka Doncic is one of the best that you have. And LeBron getting that while he is still remarkable at age 40. And the fact that that tweet is from 10 years ago. They mentioned the decision during last night's broadcast and said it was 15 years ago. And I said, how the hell are we still talking about LeBron James on a contending team as one of the best players? He's still one of the best players in the NBA and one of the best that we've ever seen. But at this juncture, like where he's learned from accepting personality points on a roster, I think will be big for this Lakers group.
I mean, it's two completely different situations.
Yes.
Where Luka's coming in is, okay,
the guy.
If you're not the guy, you're like 1B.
They
right?
changed the Hollywood sign. I mean, not literally, but
they
AI
did change it.
flipped those L's upside down. Do you know how long it took me to understand this yesterday?
What do you mean?
I saw the Gatorade ad. And they had the L's flipped upside down on the Hollywood sign. And I was like, why? What is this? Why are they yellow? What's going on?
You didn't know Luka's number.
It's a 77.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. 77 plus 23 is 100. Please, I'll never forget.
Oh, you knew then why did it take
he also
you so
has such a
long?
unique number. I don't know. I didn't know why Gatorade. Then Luka's a Gatorade guy. I didn't get it, okay?
Okay. All right.
But alas.
All right.
That just shows, though. LeBron having the 77 shirt on, the Hollywood sign having this moment of AI, Dirk showing up to watch Luka.
Oh boy, if I'm the Mavericks.
Okay, let's get into the Mavs side of this.
Hot. You can't have
the Mavs are having the worst week of their
LA.
lives. The Mavs are having both the Mavs as an organization, Mavs fans, people in Dallas, how Dirk shows up, and he said he wanted to support his guy in Los Angeles, and Luka hit the Dirk fadeaway in front of Dirk himself in Los Angeles, wearing purple and gold. And the Mavs last night, the poor Dallas Mavericks continue their descent into hell, is what we are going to call it. The Mavs last night won from an actual important basketball standpoint, lost another big man. Last night in the game, Daniel Gafford got hurt, sprained his knee in the second quarter. He left. Anthony Davis out indefinitely. We don't know what this is going to be for Anthony Davis, how long he could be out. There are rumors abound from a couple weeks to could it be even worse than that for AD. So TBD what that looks like for the big men of the Dallas Mavericks. Now down 4 of the members of their front court. And then you have fans at the Mavericks game last night get kicked out for daring to come for Mavs GM Nico Harrison. So this happened on the Jumbotron. They finally put fans back up on the Jumbotron. Cute little karaoke moment coming up for this guy. No, fire Nico, he says. Fire the zoom out. My favorite part of that is the zoom out. If we can go back to the karaoke portion, you have the people, fire Nico, quick zoom, we've made a terrible decision. Because up until that moment, they'd stopped putting fans on the Jumbotron. For the last 2 games, they hadn't put fans on the Jumbotron because they didn't want to see moments of protest in the arena. So they finally put them up. That guy uses it as a chance to say fire Nico. He gets kicked out of the game, escorted out of the game. Also last night, fans who brought signs that said fire Nico got kicked out of the game. Security has been instructed if there are any displays of, I would love to know how it was like specifically worded. Like if anyone says fire Nico, kick him out. If anyone dares to question the Mavericks leadership in these times, throw him out. I want to see a little old lady hold up a fire Nico sign or get put on the Jumbotron and say fire Nico. What are you going to do? Escort the little old lady out of the game? I want to see it.
I do too.
Somebody risk their grandma.
You absolutely have to do it. A little old lady or one of the little children, the little 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds who we love to see. What if it's a toddler with like a Fire Nico onesie on, right? Like like an infant that you just prop up in the seat with a Fire Nico onesie. Are people going to come through and be like, hey, baby, get out. You got to go.
I want to see him try.
I want to see him do it.
I want to see him try.
I understand
it's such weak behavior.
But you got to protect the brand. You have to.
It's a free country.
The country is free.
American Airlines Arena is a private enterprise.
Like, that's not free. Get up out of here.
It is such a.
Did they refund him his money?
2 days. I doubt it.
Oh, that sucks.
Can you imagine being a Mavs ticket salesperson at this exact moment? Like, what if you're fresh out of college, it's your first job, and you're trying to sell tickets for this organization? What's your spiel? What's your sell?
Hey,
hey,
Get in now. Hop on the bandwagon now because we're going to be good soon.
That's what you try.
That's
what you aim for.
That's all you can say.
Did you see that Jason Kidd didn't do a post-game press conference?
You got to do that. That's an issue.
People, like media members who were there, said covered the league for decades, has never seen a situation where a coach did not do a post-game press conference, especially a coach following a game where you lose another one of your starters. Mm-hmm. You saw fans get kicked out at your arena. And unfortunately, like, it's not like Jason Kidd's the one escorting them out of the building, but as the head coach in that situation, you have to sit there and take the questions.
Take the question, hey.
And I want to know whose decision it was for him not to do it.
I don't know anything about it. No comment. I'm sorry. No comment. I don't know anything about it. I just come in here to coach. And it's tough right now. No comment. Right? Like, that's all you got to do. Whatever.
Alan in the chat says an infant had on a Mavs onesie with duct tape over the logo, and they got kicked out last night.
I'd have to see that
I need to
believe
see it with my eyes.
I need to see it to believe it, Alan. So if you've got a link,
send the video.
Shout out.
Send the video. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Mike Wallace will be on the other side. We'll ask him if he's ever had a situation where a coach hasn't done a post-game press conference. We'll talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, who are in Phoenix tonight. They play the Suns tonight, the Clippers tomorrow before the All-Star break. We'll get into all that with Mike when we come back.
How about them Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time to catch up with Mike Wallace. He joins us from the road where the Grizzlies are in Phoenix today for a game tonight against the Suns. Mike, how's it going in that beautiful 70-degree weather?
Oh, it's just getting started too. So we're an hour behind you guys, and it just feels good. It's like I got extra time to enjoy the comforts of 70-degree weather and sunshine right now in the valley.
Congratulations.
I wish I could complain, but I can't.
No, absolutely cannot. Hey, we were talking during the break about the Mavs losing another big man. We were talking a lot about the Mavs during the break and how things continue to go from bad to worse to worser to worsest, and losing Daniel Gafford last night. We were saying, as we cut to having to come back to the show, who the best big available for the Mavs is right now, because Gafford's out, Anthony Davis is out, Dwight Powell is out, Derek Lively is out, PJ Washington was out last night. Can I interest you in Kyler Kelly? Kyler Kelly. Can you tell me where Kyler Kelly played college basketball?
Baylor.
No.
I cannot tell you where Kyler Kelly played basketball.
Kelly.
Kyler Kelly. He's not Canadian, right?
St. John's.
He's from Utah.
Oh,
But he didn't play at Utah.
He went to Utah. He went to Utah State.
He did not go to Utah State.
He went to BYU.
He did not go to BYU.
New Mexico.
Did not go to New Mexico.
San Diego State.
Did not go to San Diego State.
Ooh, man. That's a tough one.
Which coast?
State?
West Coast.
West Coast. Okay, here we go, Mike.
Pacific Northwest.
Portland State.
No, but close.
I'm close to Portland.
Oh, Oregon State.
There you go.
There. See, Mike, we knew where he went.
There you go.
He's collared.
He had 212 blocks in 2 years at Oregon State. Went undrafted in the 2020 draft. Went from the Austin Spurs to the London Lions to the Bakken Bears to Raptors in 905 to Calgary Surge to Maine Celtics to South Bay Lakers and now with the Dallas Mavericks. All that to say, the Mavs are in trouble, Mike. We did want to ask you, have you ever covered a game where a coach didn't do a post-game press conference afterwards?
Ooh. No, I don't think it's been, you know what, I probably have, but nothing comes to mind, not at the NBA level, not at the professional level, not even at the major college level.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, yes, I can say yes, because there have been times when, a coach didn't come out and he was getting fired. So then someone else came out, right? I've never seen a situation where it was just no one showed up.
Wait a second, hold on. Which coach was this?
Man, it was a coach in college. I want to say it was back in the day when I was covering the Southland Conference. And you know who was the commissioner of the Southland Conference during those days? One Greg Sankey, who is now the SEC commissioner. So I remember him when he was just a little dude. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't have the influence that he has now. But but that was weird because you knew something was going on and you knew something wasn't happening right. I also want to say, it was a long time when I think when Fizdale. Fizdale ended up getting fired the next day after a game, but with the Grizz, it is weird. That is weird. And this won't be a case where somebody's fired, but it's just weird that they won't have anything to say in this situation.
Yeah, things are bad in Dallas. We also watched Luka's debut in Los Angeles last night, and if there was any question of if he was still sincerely injured during the trade, if you're trying to bargain as a Mavs fan, maybe he wasn't even good enough to touch the court. He played on a minutes restriction last night, but he did play and he looked good. He ended up with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 23 minutes of action. Lakers beat the Jazz. But when you look at this Lakers team, and we obviously look at everything through the prism of the West and the Grizzlies' abilities in being the team to come out of the West this year, how do you evaluate the Lakers as a legitimate improved contender with the addition of Luka and the subtraction of Anthony Davis?
Well, they were already turning a corner, playing really, really good basketball before this trade. I think now they're the best team in the league. I think they're 12-2 since January 1 or something like that. They have the best record in the NBA over that stretch, over the last month, so to speak. And that started before the trade deadline. What they were able to do is play faster, get guys, running up and down. I think it started with, even though Dorian Finney-Smith didn't have an initial impact, you started seeing that team play a little bit differently. And, you saw J.J. Redick's style sort of resonate a little bit more. But now with Luka, they're going to be so wide open, so free flowing. They're not going to be great defensively, but if you could score 120, 125, you might not have to play defense for 4 quarters. You might just need 2 minutes of good defense at the end of a game. So, Luka gives them an opportunity to keep that flow going, where it doesn't just have to always be in LeBron James's hands. And you're seeing Rui Hachimura, score 20 points every night now. Austin Reeves is having big time breakout games now. So this activates some of their other players just as much as it really does. Luka will catch up quickly, but it really, really helps the rest of the Lakers because of his presence and the kind of attention that defenses is going to have to pay to him.
Do you think that the chemistry gets figured out sooner rather than later? Is Luka an easy player to kind of fit into this Lakers roster right now?
He will be, and because he's smart enough to understand something drastic happened to him, a high level of accountability and trauma, regardless of how you feel about the trade, regardless of how you feel about whether Dallas should have done it or shouldn't have done it or didn't get enough back. Bottom line is that this was one of the top 5 players in the world who got humiliated because he was traded, who got humbled because they said, we don't want you anymore. And now you're going to the nicest, softest landing place you can go, where everybody's going to love you, everybody's going to accommodate you, and the culture is already.
Oh, no.
No.
Froze, Mike. Let's get him off and call him back.
Gotta get that expensive Wi-Fi.
Is he back?
Is he back?
Yeah, you guys got him?
Yep, come on, Mike.
Yeah, what I was saying was Luka has culture now. He doesn't have to do anything but just kind of fit in. He's so great. As a matter of fact, there was a clip last night of LeBron and the Lakers saying, don't try to fit in, fit the F out, be you, right? We didn't bring you here to be us. We brought you here to be you. And I think that's going to help him because he knows he has to tighten up. And this is a wake-up call for Luka as well, too.
Yeah, I love how you described it as a soft landing pad because it is true. Like something traumatic did happen. A week and a half ago, he expected that he was playing the rest of his career in Dallas. And then it turns around and you're traded literally almost in the dark of the night, like at the end of the evening, no heads up on it, and finding out almost in real time with the rest of us. On the flip side, you saw Dalton Connect on the bench last night. I just think it represents the differing of circumstances of these players who are human beings at the end. Like we get so caught up in the drama and the soap opera nature of the NBA sometime, and especially coming out of the trade deadline. But you see Dalton Connect on the bench, not really engaged, not talking with anyone. He had a DNP last night, and I'm sure
how weird is that? You guys just traded me.
No, that's my point. Like how difficult that has to be mentally for especially a young player to go from thinking I could be an exciting young future piece of this franchise to, oh, I am dispensable enough to be traded for Mark Williams to, oh, oopsie, I just got to Charlotte, get back on a plane, fly back to Los Angeles and have to sit on this bench. Like I understand why Dalton Connect looked the way that he did last night.
Oh yeah, he's got to be in shock, and this didn't happen to a mid-career guy. This happened to a rookie, right? This is his first year, so he's understanding how raw and cold that the NBA can be. Having said that, that's part of the game, and that's the one thing I when these players come out and talk about how much you can be auctioned, and you're using loaded terms and all of these kind of things. It's not. These guys got to get that out of their head, man, because you're playing in the NBA. Trades are part of the game, just like free agency is. And, it's all good when it's a free agent and you can hold a team hostage until they give you what you want. But, part of the other part of it is you can be traded. And it's not like, you're going from the NBA to some league in Siberia. You're going to another NBA team to work out your contract. You just don't have 100% control of where you go. And that's part of it. You know what I mean? That's what you sign up for when you go to these kind of professional leagues. That's just part of the issue. I do feel for Dalton Connect, though, because he's learning that in his rookie year. I remember when the Marshawn Brooks and the Dylan Brooks thing happened with the Memphis Grizzlies, and it just didn't work from that standpoint because somebody had to come back or both guys had to come back, and 2 guys were in the locker room and neither one knew which one was intended to be traded, and it was chaotic. So I can understand, and I do have empathy for Dalton in that situation, especially because the guy that came in is one of the greatest in the game that plays your position well too. But I do think that they'll find a way to utilize Dalton Connect, or even maybe move him in the offseason to make it a little bit better.
On the topic of the trade, imagery, the loaded terms that are being used. Millionaires can't be slaves, right? Like that's the whole issue with slavery was you're being forced to work for free, right? Like that's the whole thing. So if you're a millionaire, to your point, Mike, it's kind of part of the job. You don't have complete and total control over everything, but hey, you're making millions of dollars. You kind of got to take it on the chin every now and then. Where would you guys rather play if you were Connect, though? Would you rather play in LA or go over to Charlotte and play on the Hornets? Like if you had the choice, you're in his body. You didn't watch this show, Mike. Jessica, maybe it was before your time, but the Jersey was a show on Disney Channel, and they put on this old Mike. They put on this old, tattered, raggedy jersey, and then their consciousness was shot into an athlete, right? Like a world-famous, world-renowned athlete, and they snap to, and they're on the football field as Jerry Rice running routes. It's like, holy cow, I can jump now. It was a bunch of little kids who were very unathletic. So I'm saying this. Put the jersey from the jersey on right now. You're in Dalton Connect's body. Where would you rather play, L.A. or Charlotte?
Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's any question. I would rather get 5-10 minutes a game in LA than start in Charlotte right now. All things considered.
Now, you know how many shots you're gonna put up in Charlotte?
I don't care. You're playing alongside LeBron and Luka.
Having said that, just for a little bit of context, there are some factors that might, if you're Dalton, and if I'm in Dalton's body, he might be thinking, well, you know what? Charlotte and the Carolinas are a lot closer to Tennessee, where I played. I have a huge fan base that knows who I am from there. It'll be comfortable. I'll get all the shots that I need to get. And I'm a rookie. I hadn't done anything in the NBA yet. So let me go make a name for myself on a team that's really not going anywhere at this point. But that'll get old really, really quick, right? Like once he realizes how much he had and the kind of, like, when you go from the LA Lakers to the Charlotte Hornets, you're essentially going from the best of the very best of the league to almost barely, like, everybody's still riding in charter planes and staying at 5-star hotels, but the experience is just completely different in terms of recognition and what you're up to. And right now, you got to ride the Lakers train because they're looking like their team. You know, you saw the latest odds. They got the third best odds to come out of the Western Conference and represents the West in the NBA Finals. So, you know, this is a nice train that they're on right now. He just has to find his seat again.
Man, y'all are tripping.
Okay,
he's in his first year. He gets another chance. He can chase championships for the next 9 to 12 after he signs
that experience.
Yeah, man, get out of here. Put me on the bad team.
Learning lessons.
No learning. Who wants to learn the first year in the league? I want to get all the buckets I can get the first year in the league. Give me that. I want to do that.
Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, Mike, a team that has been starting 2 rookies, and we'll eventually get to that portion of the conversation and what we saw from Zach Edey and Jalen Wells in the last game for the Grizzlies against the Thunder. They'll represent the Grizzlies at the Rising Stars Challenge this upcoming All-Star weekend. But we have to start with the totality of the Grizzlies-Thunder game from over the weekend because you were there. The excitement levels for that game, I think, topped anything else that we have seen this season, 1 versus 2 in the West, and just like a deflated balloon as the Grizzlies found themselves down 28. When you look back on that game now that we're a few days removed, is it anything more than an indication that the Thunder, who have been dominant all season, are the best team in the West and the Grizzlies are just a distant second right now? Or is there more than that to take from Saturday's matchup?
I think there's more than that to take from Saturday's matchup because the Grizzlies should have been. I walked away from that game more concerned about the Grizzlies than I was impressed with Oklahoma City. And the reason why, and I was both, right? You could be both. You don't have to choose between the two. But if I had to lean one way or another, it was more, the performance was more baffling to me from Memphis than it was impressive from Oklahoma City. Because number one, the Grizzlies have the 3rd best home record in the NBA. They don't lose these kind of games at home. And they had stopped losing those kind of games at home a long time ago, especially when they know that they have to be able to, be a hard, tough place to play again. Number two, the Grizzlies had their full complement of guys. And there are not many games where you could say, hey, the Grizzlies were completely loaded with everyone they needed, and they had an embarrassing effort. They had an embarrassing outcome. I don't remember that. It's usually somebody's hurt or somebody's not good or somebody's missing or something like that. You don't see them getting beaten like that when they have their full squad together for the most part. because we just hadn't seen it enough from that standpoint. And number three, like they had one big, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Hardenstein was the one big that they had, and they dominated the Grizzlies, who had all of their bigs at their disposal. And we talked about rebounding going into that game. The Grizzlies were supposed to be the better rebounding team, and they weren't supposed to do a lot of the things that they ended up doing. Now, you know, on the flip side about it, can you address those things? Do you realize how far you are from beating Oklahoma City? You know, it's not just like Oklahoma City is the only team in the West that is giving you problems. As a matter of fact, I looked at it last night. It's in my piece on Grind City Media right now. The Grizzlies are 9-13 against the other top 9 teams in the Western Conference this year. 9-13. That's a losing record against 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And it's you got to turn that around. And that starts tonight. This is an opportunistic back-to-back. The Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers, you got to get these two. And then when you come back, you got 3 more on the road coming back out of the break. They got to start doing better against elite teams over this next 30 games.
A part of your piece up on grindcitymedia.com is talking about the health that this team has. And I'm curious from your standpoint, as we start to see the challenge in what is the rotation for this team going to look like? How do you view that as both a luxury for the Grizzlies, but also perhaps a detriment? And I don't want to say a detriment because that feels more final than what it is to be tinkering and figuring it out. But it is February 11th, and some decisions have to begin being made, some tough decisions perhaps about who is going to carry this group in the best of their abilities towards a significant playoff run.
Yeah, you just got, you know, I go back to a word I used in the article. It's a dilemma. You know what I mean? More so, it's a luxury, but
I like
it's also
that better than detriment.
Yes, it's a dilemma because now that you have everybody back, you have to turn against some of the decisions that you've made about certain individuals in the starting lineup and in the rotation. Now you got to remove some guys who have been, producing for you. The thing about it is this: I've seen a lot of teams in the NBA and in pro sports or whatever go from mediocre to good. Like a lot of teams can do that, and then they get satisfied. It's much tougher to go from really good to great. It's a thinner line, but it's much tougher because then you got to look in the mirror and say, I made this decision that I truly believed in and it had great results. But now can I take it to a different level? Can I break myself back down? And what I'm saying is that you got to take a long, hard look at, Zach Edey and Jalen Wells as rookies in your starting lineup. They performed all season long. They didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, they did a lot of things right. But is that going to take you from is putting Vince Williams Jr. in there or going with a Brandon Clark in there and allowing Jaren Jackson Jr. to be even bigger or have to play bigger? Is that going to take you from really good to potentially great? You got to be able to make those kind of hard decisions. And even that's a major one right there.
Yeah.
But the more simple ones is, who am I going to use? Do I need 11 or can I just say I'm going to play 9? And if somebody in that 9 gets hurt or is having an absolutely horrible night, then I might switch and go 10 and 11. But do I have to play 11 every single night? Those are some hard decisions that Taylor Jenkins is going to have to make because he's making it from an area of privilege as opposed, to some painful things that they've had to go through. And now you're healthy. This is what you want. Now you have to basically have training camp again, but you also have to retrain your rotation and retrain your mind as a coaching staff.
Yeah, and that's where the front office helped by making that decision go from 13 to 11 in moving on from Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia. And boy, is it weird watching Jake LaRavia light the beam in Sacramento already. Yeah. But now going from the 11 to the 9 perhaps is that next iteration of cutting down. I'm curious your perspective on with the rookies because like you said, especially on Saturday, Thunder have one big. It's Hartenstein versus the world, and yet Zach Edey plays 13 minutes, and both him and Wells were yanked in the third quarter after defensive mistakes. They don't get back on the court. What's that sweet spot between allowing rookies to play and make mistakes and learn, but risking the psychological nature of, I'm playing really bad, and then does that spiral, versus the psychological piece of, I just got benched in a game when I've been starting for this team? Like, you've seen a lot of basketball. How do you weigh the pros and cons of the development part? And I know the season isn't about development for the Grizzlies, so that certainly plays into it too.
Well, it's two different vantage points, right? The vantage point from the player is I'm gonna get in my feelings. Like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I've been producing all year, and now it's gonna challenge me to be the kind of teammate that I hadn't had to be all season long. It's easy to cheer for your other guys when you know you're going to get yours, when you know your minutes are going to be there, your role is going to be there. But when you get benched and you see another guy take your spot, you got to be like, wow, what made this the choice versus me? Can I learn from that? Fortunately, you got two guys that have great heads on their shoulders. Zach Edey's been dealing with this all season long. This is nothing new for him to start a game and might not even have a role in the second half. He's been used to sort of going back and forth in that role. Jalen Wells hadn't had to do that as much. But it's also because Jalen Wells didn't have another player behind him who can that he had to share that space with, who can do sort of the same kind of things that he can do defensively. Vince Williams Jr. defensively is a top 2 player on the Grizzlies roster. I don't think there's no question about it. When he's right and he's healthy, he is a top. He's second behind only Jaren Jackson Jr. in terms of impact and how he can flip a game with his energy and stuff like that. So, Jalen has to understand, hey, I'm a rookie. There's still much I have to learn, and we're going to do what's best for the team. As Jenkins, though, you also have to say, hey, I convinced the rest of this roster that I believe in this rookie or these rookies. And now I'm saying maybe not. I got to go with the vets. But that's hard to do if you're a coach. You just have to do it on the fly. But here's the writing on the wall. When you see I'm 9-13 or we're 9-13 against the top teams in the West, that has to change. Then you better change, because otherwise what you don't want for this team is to have the second best record in the West again, and you go out in the first round of the playoffs because you were either reluctant or unwilling to make changes when you needed to make changes for the better. It's a risk, but you can't be, risk averse at this point. You got to go all in with this roster if you believe in the guys that are coming back and are healthy now.
They don't have one of the top teams in the West tonight. This Phoenix Suns team right at 500. They did not get Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler now with the Golden State Warriors. They did keep Kevin Durant. You talk about players responding to just trade season, and Kevin Durant's a 15-time All-Star. I think it's pretty easy for him to address the media yesterday and say, this is just a part of the business, kind of deflect the chatter that goes around it. But when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, is there any way through this for them? Mike, you still have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker. They moved on from Yusuf Nurkic, which Jaren Jackson Jr. has notoriously been able to really take advantage of that matchup, so we'll see what it looks like for him tonight. But the Suns just feel to be in a bleak place.
They do, and I have a good relationship with their general manager, man, James Jones. He goes back to Miami. He's a Miami native. I've seen him basically become a really, really good role player. I've seen him, go to Cleveland and win championships. I actually covered him when he was with the Miami Heat during his stretch there. And he's just a good dude, man. I know his family. Our kids are around the same age, and it's hard. It was great to see him when they got to the finals that year. With Monty Williams, who was a team. Like I just felt
Two
really, really.
coaches ago.
Yeah. And where they were, but now it's almost like the wheels have fallen off, and it's almost like this team right now, if you want to be honest, they're kind of doing a disservice to Devin Booker, right? It's like, you're talking about all of these trades and all of these things going on, and guys aren't being moved, and guys like Bradley Beal have a no trade clause, and they're handcuffing this organization. And if you're Kevin Durant, again, you're going to be in a position where you're like, man, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And that's a tough place to be. This team might not even make the play. And if they don't make the play in, all bets are off in terms of bringing any of these guys.
Mike, we'll see your coverage tonight in Phoenix. Enjoy the road trip, and we'll see you after the All-Star break.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Stay warm. I know I will.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the pool. Goodbye. Bye-bye. That was Mike Wallace. You can find his latest up at grindcitymedia.com. Grizzlies play the Suns tonight. They play the Clippers tomorrow, and the Clippers have been one of those opponents for the Grizzlies this season that they've struggled against, one of those big physical teams that seem to give the Grizzlies a fit. So go out there and get a win in Phoenix would be a good start to this road trip, and maybe be able to give your starters some rest late in the game. And it is a late game. It is a 9 o'clock game. Oh my God, tomorrow's game is at 9:30. Oh! Heavens!
On a work night?
Heavens! I'm off on Thursday. So
Shut
have
up.
fun.
Shut up.
Chris this morning, I was like, it's a 9 o'clock game. He goes, that's just mean. I said, yeah, it is. Why are we starting games at 9 o'clock? Anyway, you know my feelings on this. We will see the Grizzlies and the Suns tonight. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. The Super Bowl ratings are out. Shocking. A lot of people watch the Super Bowl this year. Football season is officially over, and there are some big storylines. One consistent storyline that we seem to go back to after every single year. We will get into it when we come back.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati, look for their secrets, run back, tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Welcome back. CJ, I made a huge mistake. Big mistake.
What?
I said football season's over.
I started to correct
just on
you,
a pause because we're 47 days.
Just 47.
2 hours, 3 minutes, and now 20 seconds, 19 seconds, 18 seconds. Live countdown clock to Memphis Showboats versus Michigan Panthers on March 30th from Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff.
Let's go. They know how to
on
kick a game off.
ESPN.
Let's get it. On ESPN?
On ESPN.
Let's go.
Their next game is on ABC.
Let's go.
If you build it, they will come.
You know we will. Showboats needing to rebound from a very, very bad season last year.
Thank you for the analysis.
Yeah, they didn't win much. We know they didn't win much.
Thank you.
Maybe they went winless at home also. I got you. But they went 3 games without at least 3 games without scoring touchdowns. Look forward to seeing them try and bounce back. And listen, man, who said there's not a football dynasty anymore? There's one in the spring, and they're the Birmingham Stallion. 3 straight spring football championships for Birmingham? Somebody's got to knock them off. I don't know who's going to be able to do it, though. Maybe the Battlehawks? Maybe the Brahmas? Maybe the Renegades? Maybe the Defenders? I don't know. I look forward to seeing it, though. Have I mentioned every...
As I was just looking
Guardians?
at the other ones.
Maybe the Guardians?
The Roughnecks?
That's the Houston team?
Yeah.
That should be everybody we talked about.
Renegades, Stallions, Defenders, Roughnecks, Showboats, Panthers, Brahmas.
Yep, that's everybody. That's everybody. We mentioned them all.
And we're going to try this again.
Because we know
Who
our
is the head
UFL
coach
teams.
of the Memphis Showboats?
We definitely know who that is.
I know who it is.
We absolutely know
I
who
interviewed
that
him down
is.
on the riverfront.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
Absolutely know who he is.
You can do it.
I know I can. Wizenhunt.
There you go.
There he is.
Ken Wizenhunt.
Yeah, I know all about this team.
It was a bummer to realize that the other traditional football season came to an end.
The other football team, the other football league,
that we care about for the good portion of the fall and winter. We did get the Super Bowl ratings. Shocking. They're up again. They drew a record 126 million viewers.
You say shocking kind of condescendingly. You were expecting it to be a record?
Yes.
Really?
I expect it to be a record every single year at this point.
All right.
That's my take on the matter. 1 in 3 people in the United States of America were watching the Super Bowl on Sunday, which leads me to wonder, what were the other 2 doing? What were the ones who weren't watching the Super Bowl doing with their time? Maybe they were at a 3.5-hour showing of The Brutalist. Maybe they were out on a walk. Maybe they were at the grocery store. I don't know, doing things that no one else does. But most people I know watch the Super Bowl. Do you know anyone in your life who does not watch the Super Bowl?
I mean, I'm sure I do.
I don't know a soul.
I'm pretty sure I know some people who are like, yeah, I got other stuff to do.
That's crazy.
I bet I can.
But that's such a testament to living in different worlds. Like TikTok popped up for me yesterday where I forget what company was doing it, but they went around Bourbon Street and they were showing them pictures of very easily identifiable, easily to me and easy to anyone who watches the show, I'm sure, identifiable characters from the football universe. And these people drunk on Bourbon Street had no idea. My favorite was they popped up Travis Kelce and they said, oh, that's Taylor Swift's brother. And it wasn't a joke. Like these people were giving genuine answers on who they thought these people were. Tony Romo popped up and they were like, oh, he looks like a Tulane professor. I was like, oh, that's tough. Patrick Mahomes came, or my favorite was Jalen Hurts, and they go, oh, that's an actor. That's that one actor. And I was like, yeah, that is that one actor. Did you see him celebrating at Disney World yesterday?
I did.
Had the little hat on.
On the float parade. I'm going to go to Disney World one year for that parade. I want to be there. I want to be there just for that parade.
Every time I see it,
it looks
it
fun.
is a tradition that has somehow carried onward.
Somehow sponsorship, paying money. That's how it continues.
Big brain. When I was a kid, it seemed like there was nothing cooler in my mind that you would win the Super Bowl one night and the next morning you would just pop up at Disney World. I was like, wow, that's living the dream. And now as an adult who understands the level of drinking and shenanigans that occurs after winning a Super Bowl, I cannot imagine being hungover off your butt and waking up the next morning in Disney World.
If I won Super Bowl MVP, knowing that I get to go to Disney World and be the focus for a parade, I think
I like 2 weeks later.
I'd dial it back a little bit. I know I would. I would dial it back a little bit because
I don't think they dialed it back at all. Did you see the video of Saquon?
No. Saquon, he's not MVP though, so like they can go hard.
He doesn't have to be on the float in
he's
Disney
not
World.
there. Like for me, it's if you gave me the option of hanging out and getting into shenanigans with my teammates, or like being coherent and able to actually enjoy being the center of attention at a parade in Disney World, I take the Disney World thing, right? Like teammates are coworkers. Think about that. Like, I see these dudes. I work with
All
these
the time.
dudes all the time. They're coworkers of mine. Like, I don't want to.
never get to party.
I don't want to party with my coworkers.
Like you just won. I don't care about your coworkers. Don't do it with. Have your friends and family. We all remember watching Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift in the club a year ago with her family. Like they're both their families are
also
there.
not MVP. So like that's fine for them. That's
Yeah, but
good.
my point is if I won the Super Bowl, if I won MVP, I want to be treated like a queen immediately. I want all my favorite drinks. I want chicken tenders at 4 a.m. Like, I want to live that life. And I guess I could be hung up. Like, just put the sunglasses on and go to Disney World the next day.
I mean, you did it for the graduation ceremony.
Fair,
like you've
is
got
that my
experience.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's, I guess.
Graduating college is the closest I'll ever
you'll
get.
You'll never be
That's
good
true.
enough at anything.
Value your education.
When's the last time you were celebrated like that? Your
At
wedding,
my
maybe?
wedding, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I did feel like that the next morning. Yeah. When was the last time you were celebrated like that?
I've never been celebrated. What are you talking about?
I did think it was interesting. The only thing that surprised me with the ratings, and it never really factors into even if it was a blowout because it's the Super Bowl and people keep it on for the halftime show and the commercials and everything. But the Eagles' 40-22 win over the Chiefs, ranked as the second least exciting Super Bowl of this century per Sportico. So second least exciting. It's measured by the cumulative changes in win probability throughout a game. And because the Eagles went up so big, so quickly, and the Chiefs didn't score before halftime.
Second least of, what was the time span?
Second ever.
Ever?
Second least, the century. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
The century
because
being
Jessica,
important.
The entire 90s
yeah.
were full of these.
Post-millennium, after we didn't die in Y2K. Y2K. From that point forward. Do you want to know the only game that was less exciting?
Broncos Seahawks.
Damn straight.
Broncos Seahawks.
Salmonella Bowl for me. Don't remember it. Too bad. So sad.
You didn't
What was
miss
the
much.
most exciting game of the century?
Most exciting game. And they're doing it by amount of league changes, not just
Win probability.
storming back.
Yes.
So I'm going to take Patriots Falcons out then.
That would make sense for that one, but yes, that's not correct.
Yeah, I would take it out because there wasn't a whole lot of league changes. It was just a tremendous comeback. League changes.
You don't have to think that far back.
Oh, I don't? Was it Eagles Chiefs?
Even more recent.
Last year? Really?
Yep.
Huh.
5 lead changes and a walk-off touchdown in overtime.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I will never forget. I will never forget. Anyway, now that we've turned the calendar to another year of an offseason for the NFL, can you tell me what's the biggest offseason storyline in the NFL?
Oh, biggest offseason storyline in the NFL?
As we sit here on February 11th.
Oh gosh, I don't think where does
Myles Garrett go?
That's
What I would say.
Where's Myles Garrett going? Can the Bills, more specifically, can the Bills get Myles Garrett? That would be my guess. Got Myles Garrett, who's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Does Cleveland trade him? Because now their front office is saying, and we know how their front office operates.
Yeah. Got the Bills, who are like, there's something away from the Chiefs. What exactly it is?
Maybe a Myles Garrett.
I'm not sure, but a Myles Garrett
Myles
sure
Garrett helps.
We've seen what the Eagles did, getting pressure with only 4, dropping the other 7. Myles Garrett can absolutely help you do that against that Chiefs team. Maybe that's what gets you over the hump, is a Myles Garrett. And so I'm thinking about the good teams, but I know it's not the good teams. It's probably something stupid like what happens with the Cowboys? Are the Cowboys ready to get back into the swing of things, or who's somebody else?
I'm curious where Cooper Kupp ends up, even though he's on the latter portion of his career.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is like a solid number 2 option. He's gone.
CJ, you know what the people want to know.
I don't. Surely they want to know about something good.
Where will Aaron Rodgers play next year? The mystery
I forgot about this dude because he's bad at football.
Jake Glazer reported. Big scoopage. Also, we should really use the word scoopage more. Can you add it to our hypothetically, allegedly, reportedly song? Like scoopagely? I love the word scoopage. How's your scoopage? Big scoopage.
Shelly!
Scoopage.
Don't ask me. That makes me feel uncomfortable for some reason. I'm not sure why you asking me my scoopage, but it makes me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry that you can't talk about scoopage.
No.
It's just anatomy. It's
Of
just
what?
the scoopage.
It's anatomy
the
of what?
scoop. It's the anatomy of the scoop. Anyway, big scoopage from Jake Glacier. Aaron Rodgers flew back to New Jersey last week to meet with the Jets about his future with the team, only to be told that the team was moving on from him. If that means that he will be a June 1 designation that allows him to sign with any team in the league on March 12th if he decides to continue to play, given that Aaron made the effort to fly back to discuss his future, all signs point to him continuing to play. It just won't be for the Jets. Who will it be? God, I can't believe we're doing this again.
You know who it's going to be.
Who?
Jacob knows.
Who?
Tennessee Titans. Tighten up.
Oh, no.
You know they're going to do it. You know they're going to do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, of course you'll defend the mother
breaking
Jacob.
news, other Jacob
Of
will
course you
defend
will.
Aaron Rodgers
But
playing for the
then they'll
Tennessee
say,
Titans.
hey, Aaron Rodgers is here. Will Levis is going to sit down and learn behind him.
My
like,
God.
that's a good thing to have happen. And, yeah, he'll be a Titan. Yes, I can imagine.
I know. That's why I stopped saying it, because I
can
actually
absolutely
could
imagine
at this
That
moment.
fan base is going to gobble up Aaron Third Eye Rodgers. Are you kidding me?
The big question, who replaces Aaron Rodgers on the Jets?
They're going to have to draft somebody, aren't they?
I love this. The Athletic has the Jets 20 options. Do you know how mid you have to be to have an immediate 20 options to replace you at quarterback? And the first is on the roster, because I thought the first name on this list was actually Tyrod Taylor, but he's just on the roster. So Tyrod,
My God.
formerly known as Tyrod, Jordan
How
Travis.
old is Tyrod?
He's 35.
Oh, my God.
He might not be the most exciting option. He may have had trouble staying healthy over the years.
That's because medical teams have punctured his lungs.
He's had 58 starts. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Free agent targets, Sam Darnold. Please don't
Go
give this
get
back to Sam Darnold.
Go get him.
He had mono there once. Don't make it happen again.
Go get him. Well, stop.
Justin Fields, Russell Wilson,
Justin Fields.
Daniel Jones, Jacoby
Daniel
Brissett,
Jones?
Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's living his best media man life.
Hey, go watch Odds Couple, the Monday edition. We talked about Jameis extensively
grabbing crab legs?
on Who Said It. So, yeah, go check that out. Cooper Rush.
Carson Wentz.
Okay. Carson Wentz, backup quarterback for the Chiefs. Why would he leave to go
Why would
deal
he
with that?
Talk about a comfortable situation.
Yeah,
at
no,
this
we're not
point.
doing that.
Matthew Stafford.
Are
Kyler Murray.
You're going to have to trade
Kirk
something.
Cousins.
You're going to have to trade something to get Stafford. Are you willing to do that? Aren't you going to have to trade something to get Stafford?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, are you willing to trade
Yeah,
to
these
get
would be. This is the veteran trade targets
Old
or cap
Matthews?
casualties. He's 37.
old Matthew Stafford?
37.
You just had old Aaron Rodgers. You want to do that with Matthew Stafford? Goodness. It's bleak for the Jets.
Bleak time. Or
Not
they could look
good.
to the future. Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
Tanner McKee. Joe Milton. Are we calling Joe Milton Bazooka Joe?
We probably
That's how he
should.
is referred to in here, and I will from
Probably
here on out
should.
be calling him Bazooka
Have
Joe.
you seen that arm? It's a cannon. It's great if you want to throw the ball 70 yards down the field every play.
He's a first-round pick if you just don't look where it ends up. You just watch the release. You're like, God, that man can throw.
He throws it 70 yards down the field.
Don't ask where.
The issue is that bazooka works. That's it. It's only a bazooka. He has no touch. So 5 yards down the field, you're getting hit with that bazooka.
Yeah,
You can't catch that.
Scoopage, bazooka.
Bazooka's a fun word
Yeah.
to say.
Bazooka.
Why are you saying
Scoopage.
it like that? You don't
'Cause it
have to
is
say
fun.
it. You just say bazooka. You don't have
It's
to put
more
an
fun to
accent
put
on
an
it.
accent on it.
Is it?
Yes.
All right. if
Hands
you say
down.
so.
Bazooka.
Where does Aaron Rodgers go?
Home.
Home where?
Back to the cave.
Is he
And I
going
mean
back
that
to the dark? Is
respectfully.
he
He
going back
chose
to
to
the
go back to
darkness
the dark.
retreat?
Can't do this again.
What do you mean you can't?
Can't do this again.
Why not?
We've done it so many times. It's tired. It's the tired trope in the sports landscape.
49ers might want him.
Steelers.
No, Steelers got to. They just got to figure out which one they want.
We'll see.
Yeah.
He's going to be a Tennessee Titan. We're going to get to talk to Teresa Walker about
About
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers every
single week. God bless. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, if you have seen Montoya, por favor, all over your timeline this week, I cannot tell you or cannot wait to tell you about my favorite new Spanish reality television show that took over the internet this week. I finished The Penguin. I started Slow Horses. We'll talk about those. Also, former Disney Channel star Christy Carlson Romano got shot in the face. In the face. We'll talk about all that when we come back.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time. What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Who would you be excited to meet?
Don't met him, the greatest coach of all time.
Who was that?
Nick Saban.
And Saban knew who you were?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he knew who I was.
That's amazing.
Saban come on, man. He said, I'm proud of what y'all doing.
And that meant the world to me and Willie. But look, I'm going to tell you.
That meant the world to me.
I bet.
Coming from the greatest coach of all time. Let's go.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Derrick Rose was honored in Chicago this weekend.
That was cool.
Former Memphis Tiger. One of the things I've noticed about him, he's immensely respected by his peers.
Yes.
People love him. People love Derrick Rose. I don't know exactly how to pinpoint it, but he matters to people. The impact that guy made in his hometown, on that franchise, and just on basketball in general, he deserves. There ain't an honor you could give him that I would argue with.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Horrible human being. Penguin, horrible human being.
Yeah, and they have that same, like we all need affection type of stuff. It's just what type of affection do we need? And then the line, for whatever reason, different reasons for both of them, different circumstances, I think the same psychological reason. At a certain point, that affection goes from being, all right, as a grown man, I need the touch of a woman to, hey, as a grown man, I need my mommy.
Yes.
And so it is. Penguin, though. I'm glad you finished it. It's some good stuff.
It was a great show.
It's some good stuff.
I really enjoyed it. And deserving actor recognition for the woman who played Sophia, who's named Christina, as we refer to her
every time.
lovingly on this show because I am obsessed with her. And she's so good on the show. And then Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Not once did I watch that show thinking, that's Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's doing great in this role. No, he gets so lost in the grossness of that character. But it is interesting because I think the Penguin is just a true villain. I never liked him the entire show. CJ and I were talking about it during the break. Me as a woman viewing the Penguin versus maybe others being able to view him in the traditional, like, rootable villain character, like a Tony Soprano, like a Walter White. I got none of that from the Penguin. I thought that man was pure evil. He gave me the ick. Infinite red flags.
Christina Milioti.
Christina Milioti.
And when we talked about it, I think you were like 4 episodes in, and find out about what happens to what's Kristen's character? Sophia. Find out about what happens to Sophia. Yes. And so in that moment, from that moment on, you're like, yo, no, I don't like this thing at all.
That solidified it.
That was the end of it. And for me, and we talked about it from Chris' standpoint, he's not here, so I won't use him in there. But and for me, it wasn't until the very, 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 very end was it like, oh, okay, good. They're not going to anti-hero this thing. They're going to let him be the scandalous, rapscallion, awful human being that he is. And I think for a lot of dudes, it takes all the way to the end before you say, okay, yeah, no, I can't rock with this. Whatever he stands for, I can't be a part of what it is that he is.
I love the woman who played the mom. Her name's Deidre O'Connell. She was in a show I watched called The Affair a while back, which a lot of people gave up on that show, but God, I stayed with it till the end. But I thought she was fantastic.
Dribble Billy in the chat saying, like, I rocked with him until the end.
No.
And then at the end, I had to, like, no, I can't accept that.
And you cannot tell me that what he did in his childhood, I will not say it, it was on purpose.
Yeah.
It was purposeful. No question in my mind.
Very clearly. Very clearly, it's one of those things where if that episode ends and your thought was, oh no, that's terrible, he didn't know, he didn't mean to. By the end, one, you're like, oh no, he did. One. Yes. Two, you're only thinking he didn't because he, right now, in this current moment, he is the underdog trying to take down the mafia and trying to get a piece of the pie. I think at some point, either in that episode or right after that episode, right before that episode, he ends up getting power turned on in the poorest part of Gotham. And you're thinking, there's some altruism there. There's something good there. He wants to be the light for the downtrodden, even if it was on purpose. Maybe he's grown, he's changed. But you got to think Cobblepot, the reason nobody likes him is because he's me.
I never saw him as turning on the power for the downtrodden.
Right.
I simply viewed it as turning on the power for himself.
Right.
That's all that he
and
needed.
It just so happened that they needed it, and he used them to get the power turned on. Why, when these villainous team-ups happen in Gotham in particular and in other places, right, when we get Legion of Doom and things like that, part of the reason that things break down is because nobody can trust Cobblepot. Nobody can trust the Penguin. So if you're Riddler and Joker and Penguin and it's like, hey, let's team up to take on the Bat, you got to be like, okay, sure, we're all going to fight Batman. But when this is over, two of these dudes are going to try and murk me. They're going to try and legit kill me, so I need to be watching them also. You can't trust them.
I did love that you don't get any symbolism of the Batman until the very end. I think that's cool for a show that's based in that universe. As somebody who is not in the DC world, have seen Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, have existed like fringely in those spaces, but don't know that. I don't know that world as well as I know others. You don't need to at all in order to get completely swept away in that story, which I think
it makes what's going on with DC
interesting.
I question it.
Oh, okay.
Right, like, because this is not a part of it's a part of the DCEU, but it's not like this character is not going to be in the same universe as this Superman movie that we're finna get. Right, they're going to get a different Batman and tell a different Batman story than the one that is being told right now with Batman and Penguin, as we have it right now. And I just think, man, put them in that universe. You've already laid the groundwork. This is so very, very good. The Batman with dude from Twilight is great. This is great. They're existing separately from whatever this new thing is going on that the Guns, I'm pretty sure, are doing. Okay. James Gunn and them are doing.
He didn't do the Joker, right?
No.
Okay, so that's Joker, a different.
Part of the reason Joker was very, very good. I talked to some people who hate superhero movies. The first Joker. Right. Part of the reason it was good was because like it's not a lot of leaning on the Caped Crusader, right? It's not a whole lot of Batman in that particular movie, and it just becomes a movie about this guy going through some sort of psychological trauma.
Okay.
Somebody trying to, again, it's very common. All of these villains in Gotham, very common origin, where it is little person who's downtrodden, person who's being stepped on, overlooked, treated like dirt, fighting back against the elite, fighting back against whichever elite it is at the time to try and make a spot for themselves. And in the process, like either one, losing their minds, or two, in the case of Cobblepot, just being an awful person, being something much worse than what it is that they're fighting against. So you think about somebody like Poison Ivy. All Poison Ivy wants to do is, protect plants, stop global warming. She's big into the ecosystem and stuff. And then something happens and makes her an eco-terrorist, right? Like, we can't have that popping off. And so it's all of them, man. Well, not all of them. Some of them, a fair number of them. Man-Bat is just crazy, right? Like, I got nothing for you. Clayface, similarly, just outside of his rabbit-ass mind. Bane, outside his mind also. But I want to say the big three, like, picked on, bullied, beaten down, standing up for themselves in the worst possible way.
Well, without the Penguin, all my shows come out on Thursday and Friday right now. The Pit, watched 12 o'clock. We're going to be on 1 o'clock this week. I'm counting down to Thursday's episode of The Pit. Oh, that abortion storyline is very, very interesting.
So it carries over multiple times?
It's all the same day.
Well,
the number of times Chris
saying,
turns to me and goes, this is all in the same day. But I ran into our wonderful girlfriend of our dear director, Jacob. She and I run into each other at my favorite restaurant, Hive. And by restaurant, I mean bagel shop and pastry shop that I go to far more than I should in this world because it's right down the street. But I ran into her, and she works in the medical industry, and we were talking about The Pit, and she said, it's like what it is. Like, this is how emergency rooms operate, and they're understaffed, and it's go, 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 and there's just constant trauma coming in through the front doors of an emergency room and people sitting in the waiting room and all that jazz. But yes, this is all in the same day, so the abortion storyline carries over. We hadn't seen it in like 2 episodes, so I do appreciate that, where it's drawing from things that happened even like 2-3 episodes ago, and then they come back. Don't worry, school shooter still not back in action. We don't know where he is. He's MIA. Does he have a gun in his backpack? Is he going to kill the girls? Who knows? Unclear. Is there going to be more fentanyl outbreaks? I don't know. We did have to watch. Very sad. Very, very sad. Someone's only child died of accidental fentanyl usage. It was a tragic moment. Remember did you watch along with, what was the Edgar Allan Poe show?
Follow the House of Usher.
Yes. Did you watch any of his other shows?
I tried. I couldn't get into it, no.
Okay. Well, one of the women who is on that show, and then she's in other seasons, she was in the one where it's like the returning of Christ on an island in a church. She plays a really like scary nun-like character, or like beacon of the church. But she's the mom of the kid who dies. And the second she popped up, I was like, she's too good of an actress not to have an extended storyline on the show. And she's been really good on it. But The Pit, Severance. I think you might like Severance. It's a slow burn.
No.
Okay. It's so good.
I hear.
People called episode 4, they're like, this is one of the best episodes of television that we've had in years. I'm not going to go that far, but it was really interesting. It took us into a different version, and the way that it ended, no, I won't spoil it in this moment, but it makes me very excited for episode 5, particularly with one character that just had like infinite trauma moments, and now how that all comes together in her evolution. And then Traitors is on Friday. So The Pit, Severance, and Traitors, those are my 3 right now. I don't have anything other than that. And so Chris and I started Slow Horses last night. Lang Whitaker recommended Slow Horses on Apple TV. And I gotta say, episode 1 was a banger. I would have watched like 6 episodes if I didn't have to go to bed and watch Luka and the Lakers as I fell asleep. Are you watching anything before we get to Montoya?
I finished Castlevania Nocturne.
Okay.
Animation's so good.
Really good.
Really good. And season 2 is significantly better than season 1. If you can get by the scariness, the blood, the gore, the guts of it all, there are some really interesting existential conversations that pop off there. And season 2 felt closer to the first Castlevania than it did to Castlevania Nocturne season 1. So I watched that. Abbott, Neighborhood, my jam.
We're still making our way through Abbott.
St. Dennis Medical, that's my medical show right now.
It's no Pit.
No, it's not. Just a bunch of goofiness going on. I love me some David Allen Greer. Yeah, I finished Upshaws, the recent season of the Upshaws. Love Wanda Sykes in that. Love Mike Epps. They're trying to make Mike Epps. They're trying to expand his like acting acumen. Because Mike Epps is just a goofball, mess up type of an actor. Thinking about Day Day and some of the other characters that he's played. No, they're trying to get him to be a more serious actor, thespian. Like a legit thespian. He's got some work to do, but I'm intrigued by it. He's shown an emotion other than goofiness. This past season on that show. Wanda Sykes is incredible in that. I like that show so very, very much. And yeah, that's it. So tell me about this Montoya thing.
First of all, had you seen anything about Montoya until I sent this?
Never seen it.
Montoya's been all over the timeline. And you might say, Jessica, touch grass. No, then I couldn't tell you about Montoya. I actually had avoided the whole Montoya situation until I saw the Minnesota Timberwolves tweet Montoya, por favor, over the weekend. And I was like, okay, if we're going to start seeing NBA teams use this in their life. I saw Disney Plus, Spanish version of Disney Plus's Twitter account made a joke about Montoya, por favor, which is crazy considering what it is, which is a phrase that turned out from a Spanish reality show. And the Spanish reality show is Temptation Island, Spain. And the premise of Temptation Island, Spain is it takes couples, so boyfriends and girlfriends, and they are split into separate villas. So you are not in the same villa as your significant other. And then they bring in outside people to try to tempt the couples to cheat on one another. Wow, what a reality television show. So Montoya and his girlfriend, who he went on the show with, Anita, they're a couple.
Wait, how do they like convince people to go on the show?
Because the show's in Spanish, so I don't actually understand anything that's happening.
It can't be, hey, come on this show and be tempted, because if I know that I'm being tempted, I'm just not going to cheat.
No, I think that's the purpose is like you can win money as a couple. So you would go on it, like me and Chris would go on it saying nothing could break us apart. I would never in a million years cheat on my spouse.
You're being
tempted.
tempted.
You know the purpose is to be tempted.
You know this and you cheat anyway.
And Montoya and Anita have been together a year, which feels like a short amount of time to put your relationship to the test on reality television, where you watch how your significant other is interacting in their villa. And my man Montoya watches Anita. Watches
her get
full
kissed?
activity, more than that.
Like
more than kiss,
touching?
more than hug, more than hand holding. We're talking like full motion of the ocean. Yeah. Like
no!
Like my man is watching.
He watches it?
He watches it
the entire time?
Briefly.
Okay.
But like this is the universal thing where this clip comes up and like I don't speak their language, I don't know what's happening. But like the universal sign of these people are doing it under the sheets, and you suddenly realize that Montoya is emotionally invested in what's happening. You're not supposed, it's against the rules to go and like confront your partner. But Montoya, in a fit of rage, starts running
rightfully
to
so
confront Anita, and that's where one of the, I don't know if it's the cameraman or like the handler of the cameraman, but they're chasing him, and you hear Montoya, por favor, trying to get him to please don't go chase her. He goes and confronts her. Ultimately, I don't understand the show well enough. I think he ended up having to watch her do it twice with somebody else too.
Twice?
Yeah, I don't want to wrongly bring down Anita, but that's what I gathered from the continued conversation. Okay, yeah, so he did it again. Montoya, he's down
and
bad.
She knows?
Like a full, crashing out is a universal language, and my guy is like on the beach, head in his hands, just devastated that he would have to watch this moment. America could never.
America could never, because we talked to Jacob before the show. Guns would get involved, right?
You
can't make me watch the woman I'm with in the throes of passion with another man at the exact same time I'm watching. Like, it's live. I'm watching this happen live.
Courtney's so funny because he literally took my thought out of my brain. I almost sent you the video this morning, but I knew we would have a live on-air fight of you trying to show the video and me saying, no, CJ, we cannot show this video.
Well, show me the video.
Send the video. I'll show it to you after the show. Okay?
I got a PIP meeting, don't forget.
Of course you do. Yeah. Oh, we didn't get to Christy Carlson Romano getting shot in the face.
We'll save it. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That's a WTF story.
Okay.
That's
perfect.
That's
a tease.
That's perfect.
Someone sent me a naked mole rat to show in WTF too, so don't let me forget.
I mean, we've seen naked mole rats.
Yeah, but they put them on Craigslist.
Oh. okay.
It's a Grizzlies game day. CJ has a performance improvement plan meeting coming up, so
Is
we
that
gotta
what
get out of
PIP
here.
stands for?
Yeah, what'd you think it was?
I don't know. I just thought they were like Pip,
Thought it was
Pip, hurry up meeting.
Party in Grizzlies sauce tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. 9 o'clock. We'll be here. Hopefully having highlights. Goodbye, everyone.
What was that last beat?
I couldn't think of anything other than one word.
What word? Lovely as long as lean. I call it the leanest.